Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. I'm going to do a reading. I am thinking this will be a quick one, and then I wanted to start my day early, running a couple errands. This is unusual for me, but I might get a coffee because my sleep schedule has been non-existent. I feel like I don't like getting caffeine from coffee usually, but it'll reset things. It might. So by the time I get back, I'll just be fatigued and I'll be able to sleep at a good time. It has been relaxing. I haven't been doing too much, working on projects and continuing with other schooling. I was thinking maybe I would have gotten a part-time job if I could in this area. I'm still thinking because for the visa application, I am getting screened by the government and they're looking at my job record. And um, in the past, I got a police clearance, but I was supposed to get an FBI clearance. So I got both of those, and I'm I'm okay with those things. It's just a time where I should probably think about how I'm going to do certain things and what I can do at the moment. Um, but I might look at holiday things. I am still trying to figure out how I'm walking this, but I'm I can be consistent and persistent in ways and on things that I have that I'm able to be. So a little random, but I'll start my reading. I was thinking I was gonna get yarn today too, just because there is a yarn that I have had my eye on since the last time I was there. And when you're doing a project, like if you're doing a sweater and you get like a sweater's quantity, you get multiple of the hanks of yarn, and I don't want it to sell out and then um, I won't have that yarn. I was thinking I would have that yarn to cast on for um, my birthday cast on. So that's random too. And I went out of the room into the other part of the basement and I saw a spider cricket, and it's not a usual thing that I would see spider crickets. I don't mind regular crickets. I'm not, when I was little, I did play with bugs, but now that I'm older, um I'm indifferent about some of them, but there's like a select few where I just really don't like them. And I think spider crickets is at like the very top. When I was little and we lived in my childhood home, um, there was like a spider cricket infestation like in the basement, and it was kind of surprising because the basement, like in my old home, um, it there wasn't like an entry aside from the floor above. So I know that they could probably get in some other way, but it was just kind of surprising. So sometimes, because I love cold weather, or I like being cool, and sometimes I would sleep in the basement. Um, it was furnished. It, but at night when it happened, um, it was like in the boiler room, I think. That's where they would hide. And you just heard it. It was so loud. There was like a sound of so many crickets. And I'm just gonna do a quick reading, but I keep talking, I'm sorry. So eventually my father had that um handled, and I have the fan on right now. I don't have it circulating, it's just the fan on the bed. So this spider cricket, I like it kind of looks like a spider. It hops higher than a cricket, or like the ones that you normally see. Um, I don't know much about bugs, but it was like on the door. It was on a door ledge, not on the door ledge to this room, but outside of this room. And I didn't notice it until like I was coming back into this room. I keep this door closed because I don't want the bugs coming in. There was one spider here the other day, but other than that, I haven't seen anything. And a couple years ago, when I stayed here, um, it's so weird because I have a tendency of like disappearing and coming back randomly. So the basement wasn't always, well, this was always the movie room, but um, I I know the flooring was different. So there was like the bed was still here, and I woke up one time and then there was a centipede just crawling next to me, and I just like stared at it and I didn't do anything, and it just like disappeared, and I never saw it after that. I remember when I was little I would pick up the rocks in the front of the yard, and there was the roly-polies, and I would just, have them in my hand and they would ball up. So there was like a specific message that I was getting, and it was to be careful. And I feel like I think it's Overcoming those difficulties, as it says, I'll show the oracle cards because in the future you have the Four of Wands. So this could be, well, it's minor arcana, and I'm not saying it's just a hiccup. It could definitely be something serious, but you get through this, and um, I'll show. Wait, there's already some repeating cards. There are two repeating cards as I said that. So the Archangel Oracle, clear your space. Archangel Jovial, get rid of clutter, clear the energy around you, use feng shui. I feel like there's an energy of like not liking your space, not liking your home. It's very specific, and this could be a like even more specific reading, even though I'm already doing like Ukrainian readings. So, um, and I'm also getting the words conditional. So it could also be living conditions too. All is well, Archangel Jeremiel. Everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to. With hidden blessings, you'll soon understand. I also see on Etsy that there are some posts that are like donation posts. So, specifically like for Ukrainians that may live in, like, are displaced and they go to, um, I hope shelters isn't a bad word to call them. Um, but there are things that like you could directly donate to the people that are posting that listing. Overcoming difficulties, Archangel Dreamiel again. The worst is now behind you. You're surmounting any previous challenges. It could also be seasonal too. So this could be your environment, as I was saying, home. It could also be coming into seasonal depression. Um, Depending on what season you prefer. And I know I usually see it when it's going into the colder seasons and people don't see as much sunlight. So there are like these therapeutic lights that give off like the ray that you could have that kind of gives the impression that you're um, getting the sun. And if it's also the type of environment, maybe you're trying to get used to an environment, or maybe you don't, you're missing an environment. Um, I just saw that it looks like one of those rain sticks, but it was shaped as like a drum, and you can fill it with something that gives like either the sound of the rain or depending on what sound you're trying to make, you could fill it with maybe something else, or maybe those those like noise machines at night. Like some people like different types of like rain noises to calm them down. So there was even like storms that was I used to have one. I didn't really I wouldn't say I didn't benefit from it, but I don't think that did too much for me at least, but it could definitely help other people. Sometimes I just keep YouTube running or what have you, so I have something that I like a sound to that I fall asleep to as well. So there's like storms, there's like white noise. I really like the stream noise. I thought that was a sweet one. So another one, you know what to do, Archangel Uriel. Trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. And there could be like persistence in maybe brainstorming or getting the message out there, because with Uriel, I feel like it has to do with a lot with communication. Jeremiel um, tends to give messages in different ways, like if you connect with different types of angels, like I was talking about the different classification of angels, and um, there tends to be like um, the people mainly go for like the archangels, which I understand. And Archangel Jeremiel is said to really communicate in your dreams. And if you get like a connection and you get communication, other times the type of communication that you get is like through different movie scenes or like that type of imagery, tends to be a way that people have said that this archangel communicates. So you can also look at which ones you connect to, what your birthday says that you connect to, the archangel that you connect to, or just in general. I know a lot of people go for Archangel Michael. So it, you can also look into the types of things that the archangels do or the angels in general do, because angels, the different angels, um, there's angelology, which is not really as, I'm not saying it's not a common thing, but I feel like there is the generalization of angels, which whatever you connect to in that way for them, but the different types can help you with different things. Sorry, I was being like redundant, but there were other cards that repeated. So the present card from the Glory to Ukraine Tarot is the Queen of Cups with the Ace of Swords. I'm sorry, I said Ace of Swords. So I feel like it could be the alchemy of fire and air, which the alchemy here, if you think about forging the sword, this is in the past position, it's the Queen of Swords. It's interesting because we're actually into Libra season right now, but with the Ace of Wands being here, I feel like it's a lot of amplified energy, because that's that's kind of a sense of what air and fire can do. There is Temperance with the Three of Swords. So I feel like there's like the hardship, but when it's with Temperance, I really feel like it grounds you because, well, Temperance is also associated with Sagittarius, and this is kind of like being able to ground yourself, like in the midst of chaos, in the midst of like, I would say storm, but I also associate that with more like with the tower. But with Temperance, it's being able to handle those situations. I was also getting opportunities too. So there is something that you keep in mind, and all is well. Everything is happening exactly how it's supposed to. With hidden messages, hidden blessings, you will soon understand. So there could also be messages. Um, there's one that I was getting like to be careful. So I do feel like it's weathering the storm in that way, because you again have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands kind of feels like it is typically known as like a celebration type of card. So I wouldn't be surprised if this came out more successful or more abundant than what you were expecting. I have the Queen of Water, which is the Queen of Cups. Again, it came out twice. And I have the Seven of Air, the Seven of Swords. and that comes out in the Universal Folk Tarot that I didn't show yet. So, relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. Tender hearted, empathetic, patient, loving. And you could see that the angel is in like the middle of the ocean. This also talks about internalizing, which isn't surprising. Sagittarius also associated with fire, though. Obviously, Queen of Cups, Queen of Water. So there is that fire with the Ace of Wands, too. And that is also the alchemy on how you're projecting things and how you're being able to release certain anxieties, temperance being major arcana. Seven of air, seven of swords, plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, poor timing. This is also a card. It didn't show, but this is also a seven of swords too. The opportunist, as I was saying, opportunity, I think I said that. But you can see that there is a person. It's like in the middle of the night. That's one of like the traditional interpretations of the Seven of Swords. But it feels like being able to get away, and it's like getting out of harm's way. It almost feels, because it reminds me of that Harry Potter scene where they were at a wedding, like in the middle of the war, and then the um the people that weren't good, they disrupted the wedding, and the Ministry of Magic, I don't have to get into it, but uh, they got taken over by like the not good side, and so they were trying to celebrate. But I feel like there is like a lot of happiness that from the little things that you get from the Four of Wands. Like there's a thankfulness that comes out of there. So there's a holiday in America. It used to be Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. I mean, a lot of people still call it Thanksgiving. Now they call it Indigenous Day. So it makes sense based off of the history of America. And it just feels like being able to get out of harm's way with that Seven of Swords. But it does feel like there's a strategy to it. Like it's not just being out in the open and just kind of running for your life, getting to safety type of situation. So you have the Six of Wands here. I feel like this is energy that comes in. And this could be your energy, this could be somebody else's energy, but it feels like energy that helps alleviate that feeling. It kind of feels like saving the day type of energy. And I feel like it's linked with the Four of Wands. You have the Seven of Cups, the Conjurer. With this, it's for this reading I'm getting what to do, what avenue to take at that given opportunity to be able to run with it, literally. Um, the Hermit is here. This feels a little closed off. And the obstacle, Four of Cups with the Knight of Swords, which is not a comfortable energy because it does feel like with the Knight of Swords is one that's led with their heart. And combined with the cups and combined with this specific cup card, it's almost as if you're restricting the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is one that does what he or she wants to do. It's not a card of restriction. It's a card like with a lot of the knights, there tends to be like a freedom with them. They're not the king yet. So I could definitely see why this is one where when life gives you lemons, you're not. No, life isn't giving you lemons. So I feel like this is more of an obstacle because the Knight of Swords, I would say, would be able to like maneuver a different way. So with the Seven of Cups in this reading, it's almost like you're getting out of your element and you're creating something different. So this is definitely, I feel like, an alchemist card. And since it's in the past, it's almost like what have you learned and what can you do and how you can incorporate that and how to overcome the obstacle. You had the High Priestess. This showed up in the same position in the last reading. Seven of Air, Seven of Swords came up in the last reading too, with the Nine of Cups overall energy. And I was saying holiday too, because that is a card for this specific symbolism that is more traditional and associated with like maybe holiday energy. And when you think about holidays, a lot of times it's like a calming time. I think it's interesting, like especially with different types of holidays, how different places celebrate it. Like in the wintertime, like Christmas is a lot more commercialized than other parts of the world. Um, and it just like it's such a present holiday that you get kind of surprised that when other countries don't celebrate it. Like I heard in like Ukraine that it's more of a religious holiday. And of course, there's religious significance to Christmas here, but I feel like there's a lot more of just like presents and having fun and having vacation time and to just do whatever. I didn't take vacation for the holidays, but um, it's something that like I think like in general brings the family together. In Japan, I don't think they have it as a holiday. Um, I think they treat it as something else, if I'm not mistaken. And I just feel like with the Nine of Cups, it's definitely a great card to have, especially with the overall energy for the Glory to Ukraine cards that I have out, because I feel like it pays homage in that way, like tradition and family and what you came from. And it's interesting because in the beginning, it talked about not liking your home at the moment. Maybe it's like the conditional aspect of it, if there's a lot of restraint, um, if it has to do with maybe like the type of, you know, um, what's going on in the world. So I definitely feel like in the future it is time to appreciate those things and again to go back to the things that matter. And I was talking about Indigenous Day too. It's great that they changed it to that. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. I don't know when I'll get tired today, but hopefully I get tired at a regular time. But I do notice that um, in the dusk and dawn, I guess, it are more popular times to see this. So I'll see you.